What up, gamers? I'm Jason.
I'm Julie.
And today on Dice & Dragons, we are going to be reviewing Bullet, published by Level 99 Games and designed by Joshua Van Laningham. Now, I'll toss it over to Julie, who will tell you more about the game itself.
So this is a competitive or cooperative game that is intended for 1 to 4 players, ages 13 and above, and it plays in 15 minutes.
Well, not almost play in 15 minutes, but the competitive mode definitely plays in 15 minutes. And what age did you say again? 13 plus?
Yeah.
I think that's the right age for this, as it is a bit of a puzzly game. Well, depending on the mode that you're playing in, no matter what, there are some puzzle elements. This could definitely frustrate some younger players.
I agree. And some older players, too.
Yes. So what will you be doing in Bullet? Well, there are lots of different cute colored bullets that are flying back and forth between you and your fellow heroines as you are duking it out to be the most powerful heroine on the face of the planet. Now, you will be sending bullets back at the other players by using different patterns that you have at your disposal to clear your sights and get those bullets out of your face. You also have some special abilities that are all asymmetric, and your patterns are asymmetric as well, so all the characters will play differently. Now, in the cooperative mode of the game, which we will cover a bit as well, so depending on what you're looking to learn, take a look down below at the timestamps. You will be joining forces with other heroines and taking on a boss who has some really challenging patterns to defeat, and that's when the real puzzle elements, more so than the competitive mode, come out. Don't worry, we'll talk about that in the review. I think I've covered everything. Did I miss anything at all, Julie?
No, I think it's time to grab our drinks.
Yeah, grab our drinks. Grab our best friend.
We're going to take it to the table.
One more time. We're all set up, so let's play. Now we're going to take a quick look at the components for Bullet. We'll start with the rule book. So it's a nice, straightforward, clean rule book. I like the fact that we got a lot of clear graphics explaining how to set up the game, what you're going to need to do, and really didn't have too many issues finding anything that I needed for the different play modes in the game. So you can see the score attack, the boss battle, so the co-op mode, and the whole front half of this rule book contains a setup pretty much for every mode, and then the rules as to how you're going to be playing competitively. In the back of the rule book here, you get some explanations to how to use the different characters, their background story as well. It tells you where they're from and everything. So it's just a really cool addition. And as you can see, that takes up a large chunk of the rule book. You don't have too many pages of rules, so it's very easy to learn the game and get it to the table. You also have this nice, quick setup and start guide. So once you actually read through the rules and you want to play, you can really just look at this, and it has everything that you need to get you going. Now we're going to take a look at the tokens that we have first. Then we'll take a look at some of the other components. Actually, you know what? I'm going to change this up a little bit. Let's start with the heroines, because I want to show you what's beneath these components here. So you have each of the different heroines, their name, their title, their powers that they have, and they're all asymmetric. So we've got Esfir Volkova, whose hand size is 4. Ling Ling Xiao, her ability is calculating. So when you use a pattern, you add numbers together in the certain spaces, and then you get to trigger the different abilities down there. She also has 4 health. We've got Ekolu Kapahat. Sorry. I'm going to lower this down a little bit, and we'll take a look at Esfir again. Ling Ling, just to make sure you got a clear look. We got Ekolu Kapakai, so she's got the sacred shapes techniques. Everything's based on the number 3 and triangles. We've got Adahud Beckenbauer. Her ability is composed face down bullets in your sights are all colors and have no numbers and stats. So no numbers or stars. And that all makes sense when we take a look at this here, how this stuff works. Yongja Kim, levitation. So this talks about her patterns. Arrows are not requirements. And she's got a whole lot of abilities. Haven't played as her yet, so we're not going to go into full details. Senga Kasen, during setup, you put your 2 crosshair markers in any space in your sight. Your patterns clears from every crosshair that meets the requirements. Crosshairs and bullets can be moved into the same space as each other. So, and you don't skip. When placing bullets, don't skip over spaces with just a crosshair. So these are her specific crosshair tokens. We've got Rie Kagi. She's got 2 life And your patterns indicate a color at the top. When a bullet that shares a color with the top card of your discard would hit you, you get to clear it instead, so you really have to manage your deck. Then we've got Marielle Martin. So during setup, you put your Marielle marker on any space in your site, which is this token right here. And Marielle counts as a bullet with no color or number. And when Marielle would be removed from your site, you put her in any empty space instead. You can also clear some bullets around here. So a lot of special abilities that you have on your other board, which is right here, that we'll look at in a minute. So when we look at this board right here, this tracks your ability points, your powers, your action points, as you can see right here. And then this is a shield token, which is used in the cooperative mode. So I'll go through this quickly. Now, each of these are different for the heroines. You'll notice that they always have when you clear a star bullet, you get +1 action point. These each cost different action points. And like S-Spheres, for example, is move a bullet down any number of spaces. You'll see that Ling Ling's different here. We've got the one for Ikolu, Adelaide Beckenbauer, Youngja Kim. So we've got all these different ones for each of the different heroines. And you'll see that the Marielle token has some special abilities there. Now we've taken a look at this. With all the heroine stuff, we also have the 4 sites. These are the sites. The bullets of the specific colors will go in their corresponding locations, but they can be moved around during play. When they get to the bottom here, they are directed over to your heroine and you take damage. Now you notice that there's different colors, different number values of the bullets. So you got the 3s, 4s, 2s, and 1s. That's all the number values that you have on the bullets. And you'll see some have stars, which will trigger that action point effect. Others have no star and will not trigger it. You also have your black bag for your heroines, where you'll be placing their incoming bullets, as well as the bullets that you draw up due to intensity. There's also this white bag that is the center, and we just store all of the extra bullets in this bag currently. Now you also have these power-up tokens. We didn't take them all out, so they'll come into play based on the amount of heroes not heroes, the heroine, so the amount of players. You'll have a certain amount that you can acquire at the end of each round. Well, that you can choose from. Each heroine only will get 1. So you can see that gain 1 AP or swap 2 bullets in your sight. We've got the intensity track that will have more and more incoming bullets come in as the game progresses. We have the reference cards for each player, so references for the pattern and then the different phases of the game and what you can do. We also have the boss patterns for each of the different characters, so you'll see that they are a lot more challenging. So you have to meet these specific patterns, and then this is what happens if you cannot meet those specific patterns, and each of the characters has a different one. We then also have the patterns for each of the different heroines. So I'll flip them over. At the bottom here, we have S-Spheres. So take a look at some of hers. And we have these requirements. So you can always take a look at your reference card to see what the requirements are. And this space right here is where you'll be able to clear a bullet. So Crushing Force, the Collider, Starlight Buster. All of them have funky names, of course. Escape Velocity. You're trying to make these patterns work in order to clear the bullets, send them to the other players incoming, and overwhelm them with the amount of bullets that are coming in. And then when you are playing co-op, you do have these team abilities which get added to your board. Then there are 3 of them for each heroine. They're all identical. Power-ups take the same place. You can never have more power-ups than empty spaces you have on your board. So there you have it. That is our quick look at the components for Bullet. Now keep it right here, as we're going to teach you how to set up the basic game, well, the competitive game, as well as the cooperative game, and then teach you how to play both modes. Now we're going to teach you how to set up Bullet for both the cooperative mode and the competitive mode. We're starting with the main mode, the competitive mode. So what you will be doing is setting up the intensity track at a level of 4. Each heroine will be set up the same way. That is why you're only seeing 1 heroine. Trying to keep this simple and clean so that we don't have too much clutter. You will then take your heroine's cards. You will shuffle their cards. And then draw your hand size up to the amount of patterns that they're able to have. Oh, had a reference card mix in. That's perfect. We will want to have the reference card available. I'm just going to place it like this because I'm trying to keep everything nice and tight so you can see. So then you would have your cards available here with the discard pile. You draw your hand size. Normally it's 3, but we're playing S-Sphere, so she would draw up to her hand size, which is 4 cards, and these are the patterns that she can play during her turn. Now, we also need to get our current number of incoming bullets. To do that, we take the white bag that you have in the center. You're going to place the bullets from this bag into your own black bag. Now, you want to try not to look at them. Since I'm just looking at them right now, you want to count out 10. Here I've got 5, so I need to pick another 5 more. Here I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'll pick out 1 more bullet and place that into my black bag. You know, you can try to pull it tight. You just put it on top like this. I know the bag's going off camera a bit. And that represents your current. And the game is set up so each heroine will need to do the same thing. Now, if we were doing a setup for the cooperative mode, everything that you do for your heroine is identical, except there will not be this intensity track. You do not need it. And you will need to go through the team actions and take one of each of the type of team actions and put them into play, as the power-ups will not be in play. And that's how you're going to set up your heroine for the cooperative mode. So as you can see, very simple and straightforward. And those spots in competitive play can be taken up by power-ups. So you will need to have your stack of power-ups, which I neglected to show you earlier, but you want to have those within reach of players, and you will reveal power-ups based on the number of players. As I've got 1 heroine set up, I'm just showing 1, but if in a 2-player game, there'd be 2, in a 3-player game, there would be 3. And that's how you set up the heroine. Now, how would you set up the boss? Well, we're going to use S-Sphere as well, just to keep things very simple. So for a boss setup, you simply flip the heroine over. The boss will not have a current. They will not have this sheet as well. They will just have their track. You will then take the boss patterns that match. So we'll take a look here. We need the Fanged Sun deck. So we'll shuffle up her cards. Set up patterns and cover up the 5 shields. So that 1, 2, 3, 4, and the last one here is 5. And that's how you will set up the boss. You then draw the first card, which represents the active pattern that each player has to meet in terms of conditions, otherwise suffer the effects on the card. This intensity track will not be in play. Intensity is represented by this number on the board. So there you have it. That is how you set up the heroines and the boss when you're playing in the cooperative or competitive mode. As you can see, they are very similar. That's why I'm just teaching them to you at the same time. Now, keep it right here as we're going to teach you how to play. Now we're going to teach you how to play Bullet. And you'll notice that I only have 1 heroine set up, as each heroine will be taking the exact same actions. There's no reason for me to have 2 heroines that are set up. What's going to be happening, though, is as you clear this site, which we're going to fill up, you'll be taking bullets, passing them clockwise over to your left to the heroine that is over there, and putting those bullets that you clear into their incoming. So that's just easily simulated by grabbing some bullets from the bag and placing them into my incoming. Now, we've already gone through the setup. There are 10 bullets in my incoming bag. Now, if you'd like to be playing with a timer, now's when you would go and get it started. You can find the links down below in the video description. You can check it out on YouTube and Spotify to use the ones that have specific music for the game. Now, what you will be doing in the first phase of the game is the action phase. You can play this in any order. So you'll be placing bullets, using actions, using patterns, and using power-up. Then it goes to the end phase and the cleanup phase. This extra boss round phase will only happen during the boss mode, the cooperative mode. And we'll take a look at that afterwards, where we'll keep this site out, but set things up as if S-Sphere was the boss. And we're only going to go through one round of the game because it's always going to be the same actions that you're doing. This is designed to be a 15-minute game, especially with those 3-minute rounds, so it's very quick and easy to play. Now we have our pattern reference there so that you can see what we are doing. So the first thing you got to do, obviously, when you start is place bullets. And I typically like to place a lot of them quickly, at least in this first round. So you take your bullet out, locate where it goes, green, and then it drops down at 4. You'll place it in that location. So we'll do this a couple of times. Yellow 1, yellow 2. So what we got here, a green 4. Now, what will happen is I descend 4. Because this space is already occupied, I'm going to go below the 4. Now, at any time I can stop placing bullets. I can take any one of my actions by using my energy, and that's actually one thing that I neglected to do. You should have your energy set to 7. So I'll add a little correction to that in the video. Once we meet specific conditions of the pattern, I can start clearing bullets. But as you can see, my sight is very clean, so I can't really even use any of my patterns right now. So we've got pink 2. Just going to draw a few and just place them all because I really don't have any conditions. So that 1 can't go there. We'll drop down by 1. I've got a pink 3. A 1. And my last bullet that I'd want to place would be another blue 1, which will drop down like this. So next, I take a look at the patterns and see what I can meet. Well, we cannot do the Starlight Burster because we don't meet the requirements. I need 3 in a row, and then I can clear 3 across. Now I can potentially move a bullet over here in order to meet that condition. So that's something to think about. We have the Graviton Curtain, where we've got 2 bullets that are equal. We can clear 3, and we actually do, and clearing those 3 would give us a lot of stars, so there's some cool potential here. We've got the Gravity Well, which we need a 3, and then empty spaces, so you can just tell what you need by there. So I really don't have a lot to do this turn, and using the Graviton Burster would be really good, but I don't want to necessarily gain 3 action points before I use anything. But we do want to clear bullets and send stuff over into the incoming. So what we can actually do, though, is we're going to use the ability to move a bullet left, right, or down a space. I'm going to use that action 3 times because I'm going to move 1, 2, 3. And as you can see here, I've got the Graviton Burster already set up. But now I'm in the position to use the Starlight Buster. So I'm going to play this pattern. Goes in my discard pile. I then get to clear these 3 bullets, which will then be taken and placed in another player's incoming. So I've moved them off camera. I also cleared 2 stars, which means I get to automatically trigger this. I went down 3, sorry. So I go back up by 2. That's really the best thing that I can do this turn. I'm able to trigger this next time when I'll have some more. And for the current situation, these are just really not useful, unfortunately. So that really is going to be the end of S-Sphere's turn. Now, what will then happen is, as other people play their patterns, some bullets will come over into my incoming. Maybe they were a little bit more successful. They sent over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 by clearing 2 patterns. It's fairly standard that each pattern will only clear 3. So you go to the end phase. So you take a power-up. If it's a 2-player game, you can take the power-ups. And like this one here, draw a pattern from the top of your discard pile. You place another power-up. Of course, the other player would take this one. There really isn't an order to the power-ups and who gets them. That's one of the few things I don't like about the game. So you've got these different abilities. So that is the end phase. You drop to your hand size, meaning add a new pattern to my hand. So we get escape velocity that is now available for me to use during this next turn. You go to the cleanup phase. So you put on new power-ups, increase intensity by 1. So we'd have to increase that. But before that, we have to also draw intensity, which is the last part of the end phase. Put intensity bullets from center to current. So intensity is at 4. We take any bullets from the incoming. They go into our bag. Then I would reach into the center bag, draw 4 bullets. Don't look. I'm just looking to make sure I draw 4. Put them into my bag. I'm now ready to go for the next round. Intensity track will then go up by 1. Yeah, I put the incoming bullets from incoming into current. I did that a little bit out of order, but it doesn't happen. Then we get to set our AP back up to max. So, I mean, I could have actually saved that stars to do some more stuff earlier, but because you get to set the AP back up to max, you know, you're in a fairly good situation. So then it would be the boss round if we were playing against a boss. Now, we're going to do a simulated boss round. Gameplay is completely and utterly identical. So let's transform S-Sphere into a boss. And I probably shouldn't have actually cleaned up my board, but just easier to move it. So S-Sphere is transformed into the boss. We're going to pretend that this is the current site. So I'll just place some bullets, the ones that I had, some other ones into it as well. So we have our simulated site here. And we did some movement, so we moved some stuff around. I'll draw a few more bullets. So this may be a later part. Four, 2, 3, and 1. So we need to get her boss cards, which I set up over here. You've got the original pattern that was set up. She's got full shields. So now, if this is the boss round, we're fighting S-Sphere. We only cleared 1 pattern. These 3 bullets would have gone. Oh, that's a Marielle token. I've got 2 doubled up on the boss tokens there. So these went into our incoming. We check to see what's required to defeat her shield. This is per player. It says 6, 12, 18, 24. We need 6 bullets to bust through the shield. Now, if we'd sent over 6, we'll just imagine that that was the case. You bust through the shield, and then you get to activate an extra pattern. So S3 would activate another pattern. Once you bust through a shield, you would take these and return them to the center. So that's just an example of how you would be triggering stuff, but we'll do this like it was an actual standard round. We sent over only 3 bullets. Now I put a little bit more bullets in here just to show you what would happen with regards to the pattern and why you sometimes want to try to meet the requirements. Also how dangerous it is, because potentially as you fill up your board, this is how the boss is going to get you. So in order to not suffer the negative effects and have to move all bullets down by 2, you would have to have had a red bullet, 3 bullets next to it. In this scenario, that did not happen, so not in good shape. All bullets move down by 2. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. So you see a bullet actually got down here, and we'll just take out Marielle for a second. So as you can see, bullet move down here, it would then hit us and we would lose a life. So what we do need to do is keep breaking through the shields. The amount of bullets you need to send over into incoming is based on the number of players. When it comes to redrawing your intensity, because you do not have anything that would be in your incoming when you're fighting a boss, you just draw these 7 bullets from the intensity, and then you would continue on with play as we showed you. Remember, this intensity track is not in play. Neither are the power-ups. You had the extra actions for your team actions. So there you have it. that is how you play Bullet. Now keep it right here as Julie and I will be coming back at you with a review of the game. So Bullet with the heart on it. You can see it on the box there. What did you think of this game? I get the feeling I like this more than you, but I don't know. I'm not 100% sure. Sometimes I think you like games when you even say that you like games, and then you change your mind later.
I think that sometimes you like to remember me liking games more than I did.
I don't know. We've got video evidence. There's a few of those that I might have to just go check the tape on.
Okay. So I don't mind this game. Is that a strong enough endorsement? I think that for me, the things going for it are that it's quick. And again, this is one of these games that I think I like the competitive mode more than the cooperative. The cooperative mode, in this case, it's not that it doesn't work. It's just those bosses can be really tough, and you did allude to it in the intro. It was a lot more puzzle focused. I mean, I can think of one of them in particular that was really annoying to play.
Oh, the character I have in front of me right now. Let's see, I can take the damage off. You can see on the back of her character here. This is the boss form, and it's very difficult to defeat her because you need to get the right amount of bullets. And depending on the characters you're playing, hitting the exact right amount of bullets is quite
well. She also doesn't allow you to beat more than one of her shields at a time. So it means that it takes a lot longer to beat her as well. And on top of that, it always has to be the right number of bullets. So she was just annoying. And some of them were hard to beat, but because they had hard patterns attacking you back, and I don't mind that. I think that one was it just annoyed me. And like you said, not all characters are created or equal. I particularly like the character I have here, Esfir Volkova. She's fairly easy to play because she gets 4 patterns, so it just makes her pretty strong. She has more opportunities to clear things, which I found very interesting.
Yeah, one of my favorites is Ikolu. I forget her last name. Actually, it's on the back of the box here, so I'm going to take a peek. Ikolu Kapakai, I think. She's a mix of a human and an alien and loves everything threes. She actually can be quite devastating if you've got a lot of these bullets with the number 3 on them. You play all 3 patterns, you can get rid of all the bullets in your sights, which actually led to us defeating one of the bosses quite quickly all of a sudden. I didn't survive, but Julie made it through to the end.
So, I mean, we don't have anything like this game, that's for sure. I give it bonus points for the fact that it's all female heroines. I mean, that's kind of cool. It's not the style of art that I particularly enjoy.
But I like anime art. She's coming around a little bit with some things.
Yeah.
You like Tokyo Sidekick? I said some things.
Yeah, not anime, just Tokyo Sidekick was another.
Yeah, but it's anime style art. Like I said, some things.
It was the acrylic standees. That's what had me. In this case, I mean, the components are okay. It's colorful. It's okay. I mean, that's all I can say for it, really. I mean, I don't think you'll ever hear me say, "Hey, let's pull out Bullet to play."
I can think of one occasion where you might say, let's pull out Bullet, which will be like a precursor to a game night. This is the perfect game to get to the table and set up when you've got some people
I was about
waiting.
to say, I may play it if it's set up on the table before a games night, but I don't know that I would suggest to play it. I'd probably pull out something else, even if it's a little longer. But, that's me. We definitely have our fair share of anime-style art games because you love them. And this one has the advantage of being 15 minutes. That timer drives me bonkers, but I think it's supposed to.
Yes. There is a timer for the game. I highly recommend that you check it out. You can find it on YouTube or on Spotify. Links will be down below in the video description. Those timers gives you 3-minute theme song.
Theme song?
Yeah. Theme songs for each of the characters that you can use as a round timer. Now, the timer element is only present in the competitive mode, not in the cooperative mode. You really gotta puzzle everything out and work together to trigger everyone's abilities. Otherwise, you're gonna lose.
I don't have anything else to say. I'm sure you have lots of stuff you want
Well,
to
is there
say.
anything you didn't like about this game? Any aspects you found that
I think I already talked about that. I didn't like the puzzle aspect. There's nothing.
I mean about like just the gameplay.
Yeah, well, it's puzzles. I mean, you have to think quickly, which is okay sometimes. It's not my most fun thing to do after a long day of work. And you have to follow the patterns and try to figure things out. So it is, it's a game of looking at your patterns and figuring out the best opportunity. It's not like you just pick any pattern and go, oh, look, I can just do this one, because maybe you need to play one before another. So it is, a puzzle aspect, which, is one of the reasons why it's okay. I'm not a big, huge fan of that.
All right. Well, I definitely enjoyed this game more than Julie. I quite enjoy the art style. I like the fact that it's all heroines. Being the anime fan in the house was one of the reasons why I wanted to pick this up. The 15-minute playtime and the competitive and cooperative nature of the game really just appealed to me. We have quite a few competitive and co-op mode games now. Surprisingly enough, most of the games that have both modes, Julie's leaning on the competitive side, which is something that I'm finding surprising. However, we've not played Imperial Assault as a skirmish battler, but I don't know, that just doesn't really seem to be like our thing that we do together. I will get it to the table like that one day. I enjoy this game. We have nothing like this in our collection, as Julie's mentioned. It is completely and utterly unique in that aspect. I like the way the patterns work. I like the timer. I like because with everything being only 3 minutes and the way you have to differently execute your different patterns and the asymmetric abilities make it so that you're always getting a different game experience out of the box. I mean, there's different values on the bullets. You see I got a blue 3 here. You can also have a green 3, a green 2. Some characters will be focused more on colors. Other characters are going to be focused more on the different numbers. And I just really like how everything works. You've got to really be careful and cautious, but you have to think quickly, because once the timer runs out, all you can do is place bullets. And once your sights are full, essentially these descending paths that we have here, and I'll pick up the sight actually, and I'm going to make a mess of these bullets, but we're not going to put them back. I'll just put them over off camera. I'll reach over and get them if I need them. But you've got all these paths, so once they're filled up with the bullets of the specific type, your next bullet gets on here and will start damaging you. And that is something that happens a lot quicker than you would think. I like the escalation that you get round per round, which I think is just pretty cool, as the intensity track will go up. I'm not quite sure if we got that on camera. I can pick this up here. So every round, the amount of incoming bullets gets higher and higher and higher. So the game is going to end. It's going to end rather quickly. You also have the different power-ups that you can get. There's a lot of variety as well. So just overall, I really enjoy everything that is in this package. As Julie mentioned, though, the co-op is definitely not my favorite. There's a place for it. It's fun. I can see wanting to do it from time to time, but it's not what's going to get the game to the table and what's going to keep it in the collection. For me, it's the 15 minutes of frantic battling back and forth, something that I really like to play with more players, as I think it's going to be a lot more interesting. You will always be passing your bullets, well, the ones that you have cleared go into the incoming of the opposite player to your left. And I just think that mechanically everything is well done, well thought out, and I really like asymmetric games. So I think that if you're a fan of anime style games and you're also looking to have something that plays really quickly, you can't go wrong with this game. I think it's just well designed, clean, and very elegant and neat. Rules aren't too difficult to understand. I wasn't the biggest fan of the way the rules were written for the cooperative mode, fighting the bosses. Apologize for the quick cut there, everyone. We had a power surge and everything went dark. Maybe I'll save that to release in a blooper reel at some time in the future, or do just like a quick YouTube short. Not quite sure, but it definitely caught both of us off guard. So what I was in the process of talking about was the cooperative rules for the game. In terms of just explaining how the bosses work, I found that the phrasing wasn't the best, but after actually getting it to the table, muddling through it just a little bit, and then referencing the rulebook, it was quite clear. So I just that was the only thing I really didn't like about learning the game. Everything else, I really enjoyed the design. I think Joshua Van Laningham did a great job with Bullet. This is also adapted from a video game, and we haven't always liked video game adaptations here. I mean, the last one we played was Bloodborne, and it really didn't work that well for us. I think this one actually, from what I've seen of the video game, I haven't purchased it yet, does a good job of bringing that to the table. Just watch the trailer, and it's got heroes bouncing bullets around, and here you got, well, heroines bouncing bullets around. I think that's really all they want to say about the game. I really think that a lot of people are going to find this unique and have a place on their shelves. I can't see this one leaving the collection. Now, if it was longer, if it hit that 30 to 45 minute mark for a regular game, I'm not so sure this one would stick around in our collection, mainly because I don't know how many times you and I would play it together.
So I'm going to go ahead and give the rating because I don't want to be swayed by yours. This is it's a 6 for me.
Well, I'm going to give this one a 7. I was thinking of maybe going as high as an 8, but the cooperative mode just doesn't quite do it for me. If I like the cooperative mode, it would definitely be a much higher score, but I don't love it. I think it's okay. It's better than some other cooperative modes. Looking at you, I can't see it. I think it's behind you somewhere, Call to Adventure, where the co-op really is not as good as it could be, and the competitive is just a lot better. This gives you definitely a much different experience. You can also play solo. I haven't played the solo mode. It's a score attack mode. That's just never really been my thing. I don't typically try to always beat my high score in video games. So Bullet, fun, unique game. Definitely good for teens because you really got to think quickly if you're playing with the timer. That being said, we didn't mention it. You can play without the timer as well. So if you do have a group that is a little bit more prone to analysis paralysis, well, you don't have to use the timer. But I definitely think you should. It makes the game a lot better and really adds to the atmosphere.
So on that note, it's time to remind you to like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified when we have new content for you.
And take a look down below in the video description. We have links to all of our social media feeds, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. If you would like to see pictures of Julie and I playing Bullet, you should definitely check out those feeds. And then popping up in front of us are going to be links to some of our previously released videos. But I almost forgot to mention it. Down in the video description is our link to multizone.ca, a great Canadian game store. Check them out, and also it's a great way for you to support the channel, because if you follow our link, you'll get 10% off your next purchase, and a portion of that purchase is returned to us. Now, I did mention we'd have some videos popping up. The link over here is going to take you back to one of our most recent reviews, the review for Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig, Secrets and Soirees. See this? We've got a sealed copy. We've got a giveaway going on. Take a look at that video. The giveaway will be over in about 10 days. So if you're interested in getting this expansion, take a look at the video and find out how. And then popping up in front of me is going to be the video that takes you back to our most recent release over here, like I said, Between Two Castles of Mad King Ludwig. Not quite related, but it's just kind of related to what's going on the channel. So what time is it now, Julie?
Time to grab our drink.
Grab our best friend.
Okay, keep playing games.
Yep, most definitely. I'm eager to see how this works with 4 players. Maybe you'll like it a little more.
Well, we'll see.